friends, welcome to Scholar's T10 program. In this program, we will be covering top 10 news articles at 10 o'clock. And these news articles are covered from various sources like The Hindu, Indian Express, Live Mint, PIB, and etc. This program has two segments. In first segment, we will be covering 5 daily news articles that are important for both prelims and mains. And in the second segment, we will be covering 5 MCQs that are mainly important for prelims. So let's start with our first news articles. It is about deepfakes. So the digital media in the form of video, audio and images that are manipulated using artificial intelligence are referred as deepfakes. Okay. Basically, these deepfakes are synthetic media in which fake videos or audio recordings are made that look and sound just like a real thing, and these are very hyper realistic. For example, a video of some famous person or a famous personality can be made even that has really not been that person, that can be faked using this technology. And deepfakes are new tool to spread computational propaganda and disinformation at large scale at a very hyper speed. Deepfakes can create possibilities and opportunities for all the people, irrespective of their location and how they communicate. And let's understand the issues of the deepfakes. Deepfakes can be used to create malicious pornographic content in form of inflicting emotional, reputational, and violence towards women, and it can reduce them into sex objects. Okay, these deepfakes can depict a person involved in an antisocial behavior that could have severe implication on their reputation and also can damage their personal and professional lives. Deepfakes can also be used to extract money, confidential information, or extract favors from individuals by threatening them or by blackmailing them. They can also be used to spread hatred among communities and cause short-term to long-term harm. And it can also accelerate the distrust accelerate distrust in the news media. It can also spread the false information about institutions, public policy created in form of deepfakes, and it can be exploited to create social unrest in a democracy. It can also used as a tool by authoritarian regimes to justify oppression and disfranchise the citizens of their particular country. But there are some solutions to the issues created by the deepfakes. Deepfakes videos or audios can be identified through various tools and softwares. Yeah, there are tools and softwares and techniques are available to find out these deepfakes, images or videos or audios it can be. And but for that there is a collaborative action and collective technique across legislative regulations and technological interventions, and media literacy is required to identify these deepfakes and resolve the issues created by the deepfakes. On the other hand, media literacy for consumers and journalists is the most effective tool to combat the disinformation and deepfakes. And this disinformation caused by deepfakes are also called as infodemics. This pandemics created due to informations. And the technology needs to be enabled to deter deepfakes and authenticate media and amplify the authoritative sources. So these technologies are available, but they need to be enabled so as to deter the deepfakes and authenticate the what exact the truth, and that should be circulated or presented in the media. So these are the available solutions for this. Now let's move on to our next article. That's COVID-19 and state finances. Recently, Reserve Bank of India in a study found that state government finances, that is gross fiscal deficit, is set to double in 2020 and 21. The reason for the increase in gross fiscal deficit are loss of revenue due to demand slowdown and coupled with higher expenditure associated with the pandemic. The duration of the stress on the state finances will depend upon the lockdown tenure and the risk of new waves of infections in the future. Okay, and let's analyze the impact of this increase in fiscal deficit of the states. Tax revenues falls faster when the growth is negative, and currently India is also experiencing the negative growth rate, and they are likely to be reduced for the next few years in India. That is, revenue growths are likely to be reduced in the next few years. This stress would continue due to pandemic-related spending on health and other measures that require continuous expenditures, right? Continuous expenditures in form of creating safe zones and managing the crowd. So there is a continuous expenditures going occurring on the on the state exchequer. The loss in revenue, tax revenue, may put the state government's investment projects on hold. Since capital spending has a multiplier effect on the economy, holding the projects such as infrastructure could lead the state's economy into vicious cycle of downturn. The state's indebtedness is likely to rise if not accompanied by the increasing growth. Right? If there is no growth, then the state's indebtedness is going to likely to increase in the future. The fiscal sustainability gained over the recent years could be lost because of this increase in fiscal deficits. Okay. So now let's next move on to our next article. It's about coupling of power exchanges. See, in India, electricity is provided to consumers by distribution companies, which are known as DISCOMs. And DISCOMs purchase the same electricity from generating companies known as GENCONs. So DISCOMs purchase power from GENCONs through long-term power purchase agreement. But the demand for electricity varies from time to time, and the supply of electricity also varies and has variability and due to uncertainty also. In order to utilize the excess power or to meet the unexpected demand, power exchanges have been set up for trading electronically on real-time basis. Power exchanges in this means just like a stock exchanges. Here, instead of stocks, powers are traded here. The price at which the last unit of demand or supply is cleared is considered to be market clearing price of that per unit of that electricity. Okay, now let's understand about the power exchanges in India. Around 5% of electricity generated is traded on the two electricity exchanges in India. One is India Energy Exchange and another is Power Exchange India Limited. See, in this India Energy Exchange has a dominating effect on this power exchange in India. This trading happens on the demand and supply of the electricity. But the price of electricity unit traded in both the exchanges are different because the consumers and buyers both the exchanges are different. Okay, so the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission has proposed in its draft power market regulation to couple the bids of two exchanges to determine a single market for clearing prices. Okay. Now let's understand what is coupling of bids. In coupling of bids, it helps in better price discovery as bids of electricity units are placed by consumers independently without any knowledge of other players. So this increases competition in the market and allows further development of market in terms of providing better technological solution to customers, information dissemination and availability of analytical tools. And the development of competition is in also accordance with the Electricity Act of 2003, which aims to achieve the development of vibrant power market in India. Okay, let's move on to our next article. It's about vulture conservation. Recently, the National Board for Wildlife has approved the action plan for conservation of vultures between 2020 and 25 in India. The plan includes setting up of vulture conservation and breeding centers in Uttar Pradesh, Tripura, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The strategies include both in situ and ex situ conservation techniques. The National Board for Wildlife has also suggested a new veterinary non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, that is NSAID, to be tested on vultures before their commercial releases. Let's understand more about this NSAID. NSAID poisons cattle on whose carcasses the vultures prey. When NSAID poisons the cattle, when the vultures prey on the carcasses of the dead cattle, the poison enter into the vulture's body and it infects them, due to which the vultures died. Previously, another veterinary medicine called diclofenac was used on cattle, and this has led to catastrophic death of many vultures in India. Because of this reason, the diclofenac drug was banned in India. Now, the NSAID is another poison that has been used in cattle, and this is also killing many vultures in India. Okay, and the conservation strategies mainly include the strategies action to reduce the decline of vulture population in the three gyp species, that is Oriental white-backed vulture, slender-billed vulture, and long-billed vulture. These three species are mainly affected due to the NSAID poisons. Okay. The strategies also include to provide for a system to provide automatically remove a drug from veterinary use if it is found to be toxic to the vultures with the help of drug controller and general of India. So there are some other recommendations given by the National Board for Wildlife. They are setting up of at least one vulture safe zone in each state for the conservation of remnant populations of vultures such as red-headed vulture and Egyptian vulture. It also recommended the establishment of 4 rescue centers in Pinjore, Bhopal, Guwahati and Hyderabad. Currently, there are no dedicated rescue centers for treating vultures in India. Carrying out vulture census in coordination with Forest Department, Bombay Natural History Society, research institutes and other civil society organizations to estimate the accurate size of vulture populations in India. It also recommended to creation of a database based on emerging threats to vulture conservation, including collusion, electrocution, unintentional poisoning. Electrocution means when the vultures hit to the electric poles and they die. It's known as electrocution. So now next move on to our next article. It is about single male parent. The government of India permitted single male parents to avail the child care leave, which was available only to women so far. Single male parents include unmarried employees, widower or divorced who are expected to take care of their children single-handedly. Child care leaves are granted for a period of maximum 2 years for children who are less than 18 years of age, and during this period 100% salary is paid in the first year and 80% salary is paid in the second year. In case of disabled child, a parent can avail this leave irrespective of the age of the child. Okay. So now let's move on to the second segment. It's about daily quiz. The first daily quiz. Consider the following statement regarding the Oaxaca khadi. It's a type of khadi practiced in Oaxaca region of Mexico. Sorry for the pronunciation. So they used chemicals for dyeing on khadi produce. Which of the above statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And the answer is A, 1 only. It's a type of a khadi, a farm garment, a collective who live and work on traditional farms in Oaxaca region of southern Mexico. So statement 1 is correct. They use cotton produced and cultivated on Oaxaca coast and produce chemical-free clothing and relies on plant-based dyes, which means statement 2 is incorrect. So statement 2 tells that they use chemical for dyeing. No, they don't use chemical. They rely on plant-based dyes. It was started by Mr. Mark Brown, an American who lived in Mexico. Before starting this project, Mr. Mark Brown learned about the khadi in Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat. Recently, the Prime Minister of India in his Mann Ki Baat address and recognized the khadi towards his call for people to go for vocal for local. Let's go on to our next question. Parampara series, that is National Festival of Dance and Music, is an initiative of A. Ministry of Culture, Kalakshetra Foundation, Sahitya Academy and Natya Tarangini. And the answer is D. Natya Tarangini. Parampara series 2020 is a national festival of dance and music and is held on World Day for Audio-Visual Heritage. This festival is recognized by Natya Tarangini in coordination with United Nations. India's diverse art forms of dance, music, and drama are presented in this festival that represents our common civilization, philosophy, and values like harmony, unity, and solidarity. Nati Tarangani, a performance by Art Center, was founded by Padma Bhushan awardees Dr. Raja and Radha Reddy to popularize the Kuchipudi dance of Indian classical dance. Let's move on to our next question. Consider the following statement regarding electronic exchange of custom data. It is an initiative between India and Australia. The countries have signed an agreement to electronically share custom data related to postal shipments between both the countries. Which of the above statements is or correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. And the answer is B, two only. The Department of Post and the United States Postal Service signed an agreement to electronically share custom data related to postal shipments between both the countries. So statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. Here it's not Australia, it's USA, India and USA. So this enables faster custom clearance of postal shipments before they are physically arrived at their destination. This will improve the performance of postal service in terms of reliability, visibility and security. Though US is the top export destination for India with around 17% share and 60% of parcels received by Indian Post originated from the USA itself. This step would facilitate the ease of exports for small and large exporters through postal channels from different countries and make India an export hub for the world. Next question. ARTEMIS. Artemis mission is a project of which of the following space agency? A. SpaceX, B. NASA, C. ISRO, D. Roscosmos. And the answer is B. NASA. Artemis was started by NASA in 2011. It is called Acceleration, Reconnection, Turbulence and Electrodynamics of Moon's Interaction with the Sun. Through this program, NASA aims to demonstrate new technologies that will be useful for further exploration of Mars planet. This program is divided in three parts, that is Artemis 1, Artemis 2 and Artemis 3. In Artemis 1 to be launched in 2021, it comprises an uncrewed flight on test to test the Space Launch System to Orion spacecraft. The Artemis 2 will be the first crewed flight test that is to be launched in 2023, and Artemis 3 will land astronauts on the moon's south pole in 2024. The last quiz of the day. Project Platina is related to which of the following? Certification of Platina products, schemes to promote MSMEs in automotive sector, performing plasma therapy in COVID-19 patients, none of the above. And the answer is C, performing plasma therapy in COVID-19 patient. It is the world's largest convalescent plasma therapy, that is CPT, and cum trial project in Maharashtra, which intends to treat 500 critical patients suffering from COVID-19. CPT is also known as passive antibody therapy, where the plasma of patient recovered from COVID-19 is injected into the parents undergoing the treatment. Here, the plasma of the recovered patient has antibodies to fight against the SARS-CoV-2 virus or antigen. It will help in reducing the viral load in the patient undergoing the treatment. So, plasma is the greatest component of the blood, and it contains water, salt, enzymes, antibodies, and other proteins. Okay, with this we finish out our today's session. Thank you friends. Thanks a lot for watching this. Stay tuned and subscribe to Scholar's YouTube channel for more such videos. Log on to scholar.in or download the Scholar Android app for daily current affairs, quiz, test series, notes and videos. Stay safe and study well friends. Good night.